Welcome to Huddle Up. We're back with another episode. With me, as always, Rob Clark, our quarterback. Hey, Rob, and our guest
Hey,
today,
Frank.
Alan Fertel. I got to tell you what they said about Alan Fertel, the Olympian lawyer. I read that one. Now, normally I give a lot of statistics on guys for their athletic prowess, but I'm going to do this one. Florida super lawyer, best lawyers in America. Florida, was it no Miami-Dade Circle of Excellence. And also Special Olympics Volunteer of the Year. You do a lot of community stuff. So great stuff, Alan. But you were a quarterback at Shippensburg. So I'll throw that
You're
in there
welcome,
too.
Alan.
I was the quarterback at Shippensburg. That is true. It's a fact.
Yes, Alan and I, we were, I was younger, a little bit younger, but on the same team. And Alan, I know you're from New York. You're a New York guy. And you come down to Shippensburg, Pennsylvania from New York, Long Island, New York, right? How'd
Westchester,
that,
same stuff, same stuff.
how does that happen? How did you get there? Who recruited you? What happened?
Well, I really was set on going to Delaware, straight up. But we ran the Delaware wing T. My coach had a real good connection with Tubby Raymond, and everything was set up, and I was going to be on my way. The problem, though, they had a quarterback named Scott Broomer. I don't know if you guys remember him. He actually played for the Giants.
Huh.
Bruner, not Broomer. And I didn't think I'd get much time, to be really honest with you, but it's where I was going. Then I don't know how a guy named Coach, I think it's Dragonetti,
Dickie
came to
Dragonac, Dick Dragonac. Yeah.
Dragonac. That's it. I'm sorry. Thank you. I
Yeah.
had the wrong. I'm sorry about that one. But
No, no.
he shows up at my high school, and I see him talking to my football coach, and all of a sudden I get called over, and he starts talking to me. I don't know how the hell he found out about me. I was pretty good, but look, the truth is this. I didn't realize the difference between high school football in Westchester and in New York City and in Long Island versus football in high school in Pennsylvania. I mean, I didn't know what a big 33 was, okay,
Mhm.
just so you guys know.
Yeah.
So I came into a really, really difficult time where, first of all, I wasn't really good with the offense because that was more of a pro style. And I was used to playing the wing T, a lot of traps and a lot of tackle traps and just a lot of rolling out and quick square outs and curls and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, I meet this. Well, I'm not even going to get into Coach Monish just yet because that was just a personality conflict from the time I picked up a guitar. Okay, in the original, the first practices that we ever had, at the end of the first practices, we had like a talent show for all the freshmen, is what I believed it was, or maybe it was everybody. And I did play guitar, and I played Springsteen, and he didn't let me forget that forever. I mean, the fact is, I had a Jufro, I had a big Jufro popping out of the helmet, and I think it just scared him that there was going to be some New York City kid leading his Shippensburg Red Raiders. He bleeds Shippensburg. He was a Greyhound, if I'm not mistaken. He was
Yeah.
like
Oh
a
yeah.
Was.
stud. Coach Monis was a stud. And all I
Mhm.
remember is that guy taking his freaking hat off and throwing it on the ground and saying, "We're not in New York. We're not in New York. We're in Pennsylvania. And this is how we run the offense. And you don't change the plays. When I call the play, you don't change the plays." And I'm like, "But no, you don't change the plays." And I'm like, "Oh, what did I do? Why am I here?" Maybe that answers some of your question, Frank. But the other half was Joe Mark.
Yeah.
My mom and my stepfather drove up to Shippensburg, and he just melted my mom
Yeah.
and made my mom think that, why does the kid want to go to Delaware? He can come here. We're going to take care of him. We're going to turn him into a man, a gentleman. Because Joe Mark was all about gentlemen. I didn't wear a tie once when we were
Oh
going
yeah.
traveling.
Oh man.
Okay, I had a sweater with a jacket, and he sent me back to my dorm. I lived in Wright Hall. I lived in Wright freaking Hall in the beginning, and his office was right downstairs in Wright Hall. He sent me right back from the bus, walked across campus,
Yeah.
got a tie, put it on, and then I was allowed to go
Wow.
travel. The other thing is this, okay, and I know Fran and I spoke a little bit about when he was recruited. When I was recruited, I had Fred Glasgow as my counselor. Here's the view as a 66-year-old man from when I was 17, 18 years old. This guy is a Udonis. He's a Hercules.
Yeah.
He's in a white tank top, popping out of shoulders and muscles. He's carrying in one hand a bottle of cherry Chiaffa wine, and he's drinking it from the bottle. And we're in the apartments, which are right next to the Grove Stadium. I forgot what the name was.
College Park.
There you go, baby. Thank you. So we're in there, and I'm looking around, and I'm saying, you know what? Maybe this really is a good idea. Because if this guy is the number one guy of this team, and he walks into this place and he's rocking it, man, like, and I'm like, well, maybe we need to see how the other half live a little bit. I really wanted to get out of New York because I knew that New York, although I'm New York centric, I knew there was more to life than just that. Like I didn't know about Pittsburgh. I didn't even know about Philly until I got there much.
Yeah.
I'd gone there once on a school trip, but it was a great opportunity for me to get outside of my little box.
Yeah.
And I must say, as much as it was very outside of my box, it was great for me because I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about things, different things. And I learned a lot about football because the football that was played in that conference and probably is played now was so much better than I ever thought that I was going to be in that situation.
Yeah.
It starts with your high school. I mean, Friday nights or Thursday nights? What do they play in?
Friday nights.
Yeah, Friday.
I mean, you used to have like the whole town there,
Yeah.
wherever it was. I mean, we didn't have that
Yeah.
where I was from. I mean, football was still king, but it wasn't like you shut down the village, you shut down the town, and everybody went to the ball game because where I lived in a place called Yonkers, New York. Bronxville, actually, which is where Sarah Lawrence College is, not that it matters. But we had 5 schools in Yonkers, 5 high schools.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were getting the whole town to go anywhere because there were 5 schools.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got there and it was a good thing for me because I am who I am. And, I've learned.
Well, Alan, if it makes you feel any better, Coach Monas threw his hat quite a few times after I did something too. So please know that.
Rob, you were good. Okay, that's the difference.
Not when Coach Mo was there. I was still pretty young. I was pretty clueless.
Well,
but I thank him a lot for maturing me in the proper way.
No,
what are some of the highlights from your days as a Red Raider? What are some of the highlights you remember?
I gave you a couple, but the number one was walking into Michigan Stadium. That was just something that I never thought was possible at a Division II school. I know the story because I understand how it went down, but I just could not, in my world, imagine walking in there. And it was band day in Michigan, and what the athletic director wanted to do is he didn't want to have all these high school bands in the big house during a football game when he could be selling these seats. And that's what they used to do. They used to have like 20,000 band members, and he would lose a lot of revenue. So they had this thing about Slippery Rock. I don't know how or why, but they did. And they got together and they decided that they were going to put a Division II game in the big house and have band day. So we had maybe 15,000 real fans.
Yeah.
And 20,000 high school kids with clarinets and stuff. But that was my best. If there's anything that I take from football at Shippensburg, besides Jim Monas throwing his hat a lot and cursing at me, but he didn't really curse. He used to use he was like the original Bobby Bowden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
would dance around it.
Dagnammit or whatever came out of his face. Like I'm like, curse, dude. You'll feel much better. You'll get it out of your system, Anyway, but that was the highlight. I got to play at the big house.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
walked in there, and it was so weird because it doesn't look that big from outside because you walk in and you walk down.
You walk down. Yep.
And then the other thing that got me really freaked out is it was really very crowned. And if you were standing in the middle and throwing an out pattern, you really were throwing down. And easily you could overthrow high because if you were throwing regular, you were overthrowing these guys. So it was like the first time that I was really in a very crowded stadium, and it
Yeah.
was Michigan Stadium. And I even, I'm a very talkative guy, as you can tell already, and you knew then. Mitch Albom was with the Detroit Free Press, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but he cornered me, and I got press from the Detroit Free Press.
Nice. Oh, I
And I'm
didn't know
like,
that. That's
yeah,
nice.
how does that happen?
That's
Like, no,
And
that
years
was my,
later, we're reading his books.
yeah, not breakfast with Maury or
yeah,
Yep.
breakfast with
whatever,
Maury. Yeah.
right, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So that look, what it was I like people, okay, and I'm not going to say I'm a leader or not. That's for other people to talk about. But I enjoyed that time. I learned football. I played. I was good. This wasn't this. Look, and we're going to be straight. Slow, white, and Jewish is a lot better for a lawyer than it is for a football player in Pennsylvania in Division 2 or even Division 1. I mean, a couple of guys looked at me like I asked for a guard because I had a thick New York accent, Guard. And I said, I need a guard, I need a guard. And one guy looks at me and goes, you killed our guard. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that here, man. We're not doing that here.
Nice.
One of the linemen, man. It was one of your
Excellent.
boys, man.
That's
And
excellent.
I don't remember who the hell it was, but that really happened. This is no bullshit.
That's funny.
This is real honest to God. So, I mean, my time at Shippensburg was good. I pledged a fraternity. I was involved. I was a government major, which actually helped me out a little later in life. Right now, the firm I'm with does a lot of government work.
Mm.
It's just weird how things go. I enjoyed the hell. I played guitar, as you know, Fran. And my band opened the Spring Fling in front of like
Oh, get out. Did they really?
6,000 people. So there I am opening the Spring Fling. I had white shoes on and I had a
Wow.
blazer on and I had a beard at the time with a big fro. And there I
Wow.
was with my Gibson. I mean, it happened. And it
Dude,
was the first.
I wish we had cell phone cameras back in those days, just so I could
Yeah.
have captured that moment.
Footage of that would be great.
It's so much better in my brain than it is in real life. And I think all of us, when we go back and think about stuff, it sounded and looked a
True.
lot better in the rear view mirror, didn't it?
True.
My God,
True.
my God. So I mean, Shippensburg was good for me, and the best part
Good.
about it was I knew I wasn't going to be a professional football player.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an agent, I wanted to be a sports lawyer, but it all depended on where I went. And the last 4 semesters, I really drilled down. I got 3.8 on all 4 semesters. Came out with like a 3.3, and got my ass into law school and went to
Excellent.
Miami. And that probably was the best move ever because, I made my life there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I'm smart or clairvoyant, but I decided that I wanted to stay in Miami, even though it was just like grandmas, Jewish grandmas and Cuban grandmas at the time. South Beach was not South Beach. It was South Beach. It was dilapidated,
Just a
but it
little
was
different
Jewish
back then.
grandmas and Cuban grandmas.
Yeah.
There was no clubs and there was no
Yeah.
entertainment. It just happened.
Wow.
And luckily for me, because I stayed there, I was there on the ground floor. And I
Yeah.
started to represent radio stations. And then I started to represent models and modeling agencies and then clubs. And then all of a sudden athletes. And then all of a sudden teams. And then all of a sudden it just rolled and rolled and
Nice.
it became something good. I raised 2 kids, and one of my children, well, both of them, okay, Kevin is 30. He's a lawyer. He was a prosecutor. He just became a lawyer in our firm. So
Nice.
I'm really proud. I'm really happy. I've got a 30-year-old. He calls me Alan at work, and he doesn't argue with me. I am right. I
Nice.
am smart. He
Nice.
does. It's unbelievable. And he says to me, he's a scratch golfer. He was a great, great young golfer. He says to me, Dad, if I didn't listen to you in the office, like you don't listen to me on the golf course, you'd fire me. I said, Kevin, you can fire me from being your golf guy. I won't buy your breakfast. I won't pay for your tea times. I won't buy you beers, and I won't buy you lunch. No, Dad, I'm not going to fire you. I think I'll keep you. And then my daughter, 28, she went to Florida. She was an All-American swimmer at Florida. And
Wow.
that really, really did something great for me.
Yeah.
I was a swim dad. Okay. So
That,
I went to all these, and I'm not, swimmer. Come on, man. I had a couple of frat brothers that were swimming. I think I swam in high school because my social studies teacher needed someone to do the butterfly and he didn't have anybody or something like that.
nice.
And I wanted to get a better grade in social studies. I thought I'd schmooze him, so I did that. But my daughter was a two-time captain at Florida,
Wow.
and she was an All-American swimmer. And on her swim team were Olympic swimmers, two
Mm.
of them specifically, a guy named Caleb Dressel and a guy named Bobby Fink. Caleb is one of the most decorated Olympians behind Spitz. He's got 9 gold medals,
Wow.
like 12 world records, and I am his lawyer.
I was going to say,
And
it's
I am
amazing.
Bobby Fink's lawyer. Bobby Fink has 3 gold medals. It's unbelievable how shit happens. Excuse my language.
Nice.
It just fell into place, and it was just great. And I represent Olympians. I do. The stuff that you read is paid for, just so you understand.
Yeah.
Okay, I have public relations people telling the world how great I am. So don't believe everything that you see. I know that you've watched a couple of the podcasts and stuff that I've been doing. And one of the things I want to really talk about, and we don't have to transfer into it right now, but one of the things I
We don't
really
even
want to
have to
talk.
ask questions anymore. I think we're done. I think Rob and I are done here.
No, first of all, you guys are never done because you're doing not just tonight. I'm just saying, I've been watching you guys. You guys are good
Well,
for
thank you.
what you're doing. This is not what you guys do, okay? But you're doing a really good job. You're creating a buzz. You're creating a central place where people can come and think about ship football and see if they can help. And I'm helping too. But what I really want to do, more importantly than me telling you how great I am or you telling me what you think how great I am, uh-uh. I want to talk to your peeps. I want to talk
Yeah.
to the RR4Ls about how you turn Shippensburg into a better program. And there's only one way to do that right now. And we all know that. And the better way to do that is through name, image, and likeness. It's a fact. Now, I have to do this. I am not a Pennsylvania lawyer, okay?
Right.
I'm barred in Florida. And on a joke, I took the Jersey bar because my buddy told me he would take the Florida bar. I passed the Jersey bar. He lied to me and never took the Florida bar. But I pay my dues every year, so my license still exists. But I've done some research under Pennsylvania law as to name, image, and likeness. And if you'll let me talk for a couple of minutes, what I'd love to do is educate you all on a way that I believe that Shippensburg can become better as a
Okay.
football program, and you all can become better as either a collective or have a collective started. So let's break it down a little bit. I did some research, like I said. The first thing is there's a state statute in Pennsylvania, 381, and that allows the name, image, and likeness of ball players, doesn't be ball, athletes, college athletes, to be monetized.
Mhm.
So that's a problem. How do you monetize this? Well, there's rules. There's traditional third-party deals with local businesses. There's national brands. There's camps. There's autographs. There's appearances. The school can educate and can provide platforms. And what is a collective? Okay, because we all use those terms, and I want your listeners and your participants to understand. I'm reading now, so I've got to do this. A third party entity formed to pool donor funds and create NIL opportunities for athletes. A collective is not the athletic department,
Right.
it's a separate entity. And you have to have a structure, it's a legal entity, or else you risk NCAA violations, you risk booster liability, and you risk inducement violations. So the first thing is this. NIL compensation cannot be used as a recruiting inducement tied to enrollment. That's the law. It's not abided by. Every single college uses NIL
I was going to say.
to recruit, but that's
Yeah.
not the rule. An example, if you say, we'll pay you if you sign here, that's a violation of the state statute.
Right.
If you say, this is the market rate for social media work, that's different because you're giving the athlete the opportunity to create something, to do a service, to market. Compensation must reflect fair market value, and there has to be actual services rendered. So you
Right.
can't just pay some kid to sit on his butt in Chateau or in College Park. I remember Chateau because I lived there. Um, so you can't really get around it. You have to have them doing things.
And that's
Um,
I'm going to interrupt you, Alan, real quick.
please,
And
please, please.
I think that's a real tricky part too, is like, at the Division II level where you're playing ball at Shippensburg, what can first of all, what are the opportunities like that? Like when you mentioned camps, now that kind of made me think, oh, camps, okay, you got them involved in camps maybe. What are the opportunities to get those guys money at a small school, Division II? And if you're getting to that, I don't want to interrupt you, but
Oh, no, no, no. Listen, I've got way too much stuff for you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Do you ask me whatever you want me to talk about, and I can
yeah,
talk. Saying this is just something that I read that $5,000 changes a student.
yeah.
Five
That's
thousand
interesting.
dollars in Division II, a $5,000 payment to a student changes them.
Hmm.
I read that. I'm not just coming up with that out of my ass.
Well, that's kind of interesting because I know a lot of the times they talk about that's the kind of money scholarship wise that they give to a kid, like 5,000 bucks towards their tuition as kind of the scholarship incentive.
Yeah, the problem that you have is you don't really have scholarships, man.
Hmm.
That's really the problem. So you could have to, I know we're talking about, but you're going to have to create an entity that has money, and you're going to have to. So, a couple of the things that you can do in a Division II program, the real number is an example budget is anywhere from $150,000 a year to $750,000 a year. And I know that the ship is not coming up with 750 a year. I understand that. So we're
No.
looking more to the 150, 100 kind of number. Um, you're the way you do this is you get funding donors. You find some people in your network in the RR4L, but really
Hmm.
you're not just looking for ball players, okay?
Right.
What you're looking for is some of the Shippensburg businessmen that have cash that
Hmm.
could come in and fund. You get 10 donors. I'm just giving you an example, okay?
Right.
The car, the number one car dealer, the bank, the hotel. I don't know what's there anymore. I know there used to be Maxis. Okay, I remember that. Just
Even
Not there anymore.
Max's
It
closed
was
too, man.
back, and
What?
now they're gone again.
no, it's
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gone.
know.
All right, so you need some founding donors to come up with some money, and then corporate sponsorships, alumni membership programs is what you're doing right here, right now.
Right.
Fundraising events and local business NIL partnerships.
Hmm.
And on this chart that I'm looking at, they talk about approximately $50,000.
Yeah.
That look, I'm not acting like I'm rich or we're rich or anything like that, but that's doable.
Hmm.
If you put a real good program together and you go speak to you go to the Chamber of Commerce and you stand there and say, look, we want to be competitive. Our
Hmm.
other schools are outspending us. We need some cash. We need some help right now. We're going to do this the right way, but we need money.
Yeah.
And if we don't have money, you all are just going to be complaining for the next 5 or 10 years that we're not that good. And
Hmm.
it's not that the ball players aren't that good, and it's not that the coaches aren't that good. It's that other teams are getting other athletes because of cash.
Yeah.
Um, you're in a good position at the ship because football is king. It
Hmm.
really is. You know that. I mean, baseball used to be good when I was there. Basketball, eh. But the football team was always, whether we were really good or not, and we were pretty good. And I know they were good after
Hmm.
after I left and after you guys left. You know that. Um, so, here's some other stuff you were asking me. Local restaurant promotion, $2,500 value, deliverables, 3 social posts, 1 appearance. You
Oh,
get an
yeah.
athlete, he gets 2,500, maybe 10 social posts, maybe 2 appearances, maybe 3 appearances.
Hmm.
Youth sports clinic, $3,000, 2 hour camp.
Hmm.
This is just what it is. Car dealer partnership, $5,000, 5 posts, an autograph event.
So it doesn't have to be just like an ongoing all the time kind of thing. You can Like you can give a kid 3 grand and he does a 2 hour camp and you're good. You met
Oh
the
yeah,
obligation.
and he might be able to do a second camp.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's not. Look, it's tough for you to say to these kids, "I'm going to give you $10,000"
Hmm.
because you don't have 10 grand sitting there for 10 different students
Right.
yet.
Right.
Yet,
Right.
but it's a growing process, and I think that the number one thing is the Chamber of Commerce is your number one because they've got every single entity that does business in the Shippensburg, Chambersburg,
Hmm.
Carlisle area, and you guys go out and and you got football players that could actually go help you sell.
Yeah.
You put the football player with one of your guys and you take a trip and you go and you speak to them and you tell them what you can do for them and how you can, raise the awareness and signage and stuff. It's just about making enough money
Yeah.
that you're not getting beat on every recruit over a couple of dollars. But NIL now means now it's legal.
It's legal.
Yeah.
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 It's legal. It's a law. The Supreme Court has ruled on this. It's
So
crazy.
and so do okay, so you've got your kid, you've got him a deal, with the local restaurant to pay 2,500 bucks for some posts and all that. Do you just pay that kid direct? Does that go directly to the athlete, the student athlete?
What you can do it in one of two ways. The way you should be doing it is everything should go to the collective.
Okay.
The collective is going to be an entity. It could be a 501(c)(3), which is a nonprofit. You
Right.
don't want it to be a profit-making entity because you're not going to make any profit anyway. So you're gonna start a 501(c)(3). You don't have to call it RR4L because you want it to be somewhat separate from your particular group. But it
Hmm.
could be Red Raider Rocks or something. I'm not a marketing guy. I'm just a football. But my point is, you have an entity. All of the deals are done between the entity and the event or
Oh,
the vendor, and
okay.
then the NIL entity makes the deal with the student
Okay.
athlete.
Okay.
Um, I got a couple of other fundraising events that work really
Sure, go
well.
ahead. Yeah, yeah.
You have some of this golf tournament potential revenue, $50,000.
Yeah.
No, no, you have it. I don't know what you charge. I
Yeah,
don't know that there's.
I'm not even sure.
No, but they probably just charge whatever it is for the lunch, a
Yeah.
couple of beers, and the golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody adds a couple $100 to that, man. I'm sorry. If you really are in love with Shippensburg and the Red Raider program and you want them to be great, you got to open up the pocketbook. There's no
I
other
hear you.
way to do this.
Yeah. You got to buck up.
So
Yeah.
the first thing is a golf tournament and you raise your rates. Okay.
Hmm.
Second thing, celebrity alumni dinner. You
Yeah.
bring back some of these pros. You bring back, Kuhn. You bring back Brent Grimes. He's down here for a little while. I know he's with Tampa. You bring back Monis, and you let Jimmy Monis throw his hat down a couple of
Yeah.
times. Because I
No, I
heard he
hear
went
you.
on.
Yeah, no, I
I
hear
heard he
you.
went on to have a really good career. I think his son, if I'm not mistaken, is a coach as well.
Yeah.
Am I correct about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I heard something about the New Orleans Saints. Is that am I accurate or am I wrong on
Yeah,
that?
yeah. There's a guy down there from Ship too,
Yeah.
Galliano.
He's yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just talking about, you have your spring football event. Right now, what you guys are doing, as I understand it, is you just want to get
Yeah.
there and be together. Well, you know what? How about getting every business to buy some tickets? I don't even know if they sell tickets for the spring game.
No,
It
we
might
don't.
be,
No,
well, you know what? Call them NIL tickets.
Yeah.
15, $20 everybody. It's going to Raider NIL.
Hmm.
Like put it out there so the spectators and the fans and the vendors and the owners of business know that you've got this going and know that there's a need. It's the wild, wild west, they say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because even when there's been all these arguments, it hasn't gotten to a point where the case has gone to trial, complete trial. A judgment has been rendered by a judge or a jury, and then that case goes up on appeal, and it's ruled on appeal. The way lawyers have what's called precedent is it has to be an appealed case. The judges have to write an opinion and give direction, and then there's law. Right now, there's just a statute, and
Yeah.
every state has a different statute. There's something called federal preemption. And you might hear the president, I'm not going to go politics on you guys, okay? But you're going to hear the president speak about one law, one federal law that controls all of this NIL. Because, like in Pennsylvania, you have to be a college student to have NIL. In Florida, you can be a high school student to get NIL. In
Really?
California, yeah,
Yeah.
in California, you can be a high school student to get NIL.
Wow.
So there's unfair advantages based upon where you are in the country.
Hmm.
So the state of Alabama might have the University of Alabama, and everybody wants to go there, but their NIL laws are not as liberal as Florida, as California. So a kid in California or in Florida who's making money since he's 12, 15 years old, is in high school, he's induced to stay with that agent, get a place somewhere, make money. I'm not saying he's not going to Alabama, mind you. If he's good enough, he might go because I mean, that's the only show in town. When you're in
Hmm.
Tuscaloosa, that's a pro team. And I'm not just talking about the size of their offensive linemen. I'm talking about the amount of money they're making. They're
Yeah.
making more money. Hey, it drove Nick Saban out of business.
Nick Saban.
Oh no, I got a couple of them. I got Nick Saban is my favorite. I've got Fidel Goodell, Goodell, and then we've got Urban Liar.
Well, that's a good
Urban
one. That's
Liar.
perfect.
And then
Hey, and real quick,
not real
PIAA
quick. Go
has
ahead.
prepared for when this does come to high school. Like you're right. It's right now it's illegal, but they know it's coming sooner or later that high school kids will also fight for that right to get it. And I know it's already been discussed. They haven't made any rules yet, but I know it's already been in front of them. I've seen that in documents that they release with the school district and stuff like that. So it has been discussed. It's just PA is not one of the states yet.
Rob, think about this for a moment. You got a 15-year-old kid. I'm going to go with the laws of Florida because that's the one I'm most familiar with, right? You have a 15-year-old kid who does not have the ability to sign a legal contract. He's a minor. He has
Right,
not reached
right.
majority yet, right? So he's 15. So that means his parents, as the natural guardian, signed the contract, right? Then once they turn 18, that contract is void because he did not have the ability, or she, to enter into that contract to begin with. And now when he's 18 or she's 18, they can sign whatever contract they want. But there's a mechanism. You go into court, into the probate court, and you get a guardianship appointed, and you have the contract blessed by a judge in Florida. This happens. Once that happens, it doesn't matter once you become 18, that contract
Wow.
is powerful and binding.
Huh.
And that's why a lot of these coaches need legal assistance and why these agents need legal assistance because they think they got the guy hooked or the girl hooked. But once they turn 18, it's garbage. Rip it up. It's nothing. That's one. Two, the parents spend the kids jack.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because the parents have a way out of this because even if the money is put into a court administered account, the parents can say, well, we bought a new house for our son. And we've got all this gym equipment in the house. And, we need this money for the mortgage payments. And, and food. Our son eats so much. And now all of a sudden, we have Publix here. I don't remember what we had in the ship. But, you go to the grocery store and the bill's $500. And all of a sudden, they're going to the child's account. The kid actually doesn't make money. So it's a problem on so many different levels when you're paying 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds cash.
It's gotten complicated.
Let me just give you this. This is what I read. It's called the Division II NIL reality. The Power 5 NILs make from $5 to $20 million. They're collectives.
Wow.
Division II NIL, 250 to 750 for their collectives. The impact difference at Division II, and I said this already, $5,000 deals change lives. If you offer every one of your transfers $5,000 or $10,000, you will get better transfer athletes. It's just the way it is.
Hey, man, I'm going to wrap us up. And you gave us a ton of great information.
This was really good. Yes,
Very
thank you for
insightful,
educating us.
and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun too.
Good stories.
Yes,
Fran,
yes.
the fact that you remember that I played Bruce
Bruce
Springsteen.
Springsteen. Oh, I wanted to say that story. I didn't say it. It was the freshman talent show.
Talent contest.
And he comes out and he puts on a Bruce Springsteen concert. Yeah, it was classic, and we were all howling, man. So you say you still play guitar, and maybe we'll bring you back another episode, and you can do some guitar for us.
All right, this is the last thing I'm going to tell you about the guitar. So I speak. I am a featured speaker at a yearly conference. It's all over the place. This year was Honduras. And because you have entertainment lawyers, some of these guys are really good musicians. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of these music lawyers really know what the hell they're doing. They make me look like a freaking Shippensburg quarterback playing for the football team. Okay. But the last song of the night for the last 14 years has been me going up there and singing Rosalita.
Oh, get out. Nice.
And not Fade Away into She's the One, into Rosalita.
Wow.
And somehow I bring the house down. I don't know how that works.
That'd be
It
great,
must be-
man.
It must be all the tequila that was being drank on the Empire Music. But that really happens. And the fact that you remembered it
No, yeah.
put a smile on my face.
Nice.
Put a
That's
real
nice.
smile on my face.
It's a good memory, man. It's a good
The fact
memory.
that I turned you on to Springsteen and then
That-
you became a fan,
You
that's
did.
crazy.
Great,
You
Alan.
guys, the two of you have done a hell of a fine job putting this together.
Thank
I'm
you.
not kissing the ring or anything like
No,
that.
it's
I'm
fine.
telling you the truth. It takes time. It takes effort. Fran goes and edits now and goes from director to producer and
Yeah.
things like that and editor.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you
we
for
love it.
asking me, Fran. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. You
You
guys
bet,
look
man.
great. And this was really a freaking pleasure. I would say another word, but you definitely have to chop that.
Yeah, we're done. All right, man. Thanks a lot, Alan. Great.
Thanks for
I'll
having me,
stay in
guys.
touch, man.
Yeah, Alan, thank you very much. This was
You're
good.
welcome. I would like to see the unedited version. Please.
I'll
Send
keep
me a
it.
send me a
I'll
copy
send
of
you,
that.
I'll
one,
send you
too.
the full-blown thing, buddy.
I really appreciate
All
you
right,
guys.
man.
Have a
Take
great
care,
evening.
Alan.
I'm gonna go party a little bit and get home. See you later.
Nice.
All right.
well,
See you,
yeah.
Robbie.